This Saturday will mark 4 years since the day that changed Boston forever. The marathon bombings, which killed 3 people, injured hundreds more, a number of whom lost limbs. Roseanne Sadoya is one of those survivors. Ultimately, her right leg was amputated above the knee, but thanks to the quick thinking of 3 strangers, her life was saved. Northeastern College student Shores Salter used a belt as a tourniquet to stop the bleeding. Boston police officer Shayna Catone tried desperately to flag down an ambulance until firefighter Mike Materia stopped and lifted Roseanne into a police wagon, then held her hand all the way to the hospital. Now engaged to that firefighter, Roseanne has a new book out. It's called Perfect Strangers, Friendship, Strength, and Recovery After Boston's Worst Day. And Roseanne and Mike joined me to talk about it back when I had hair. Roseanne, it's great to see you. Mike, it's great to meet you. Thanks so much for being here. You too. You wrote Marathon Day was once your favorite day in your favorite city. It's just days away, 4 years after. What is it now?
I don't think it'll ever be my favorite day again, but it's a day that things changed. And in a lot of ways, it changed for good.
Well, I was going to say, you met him. I mean,
yes.
It's so weird to have the worst and the best all in just hours, no?
It's very weird, yes.
How's the day for you 4 years after?
Now it's a lot more, perspective-wise, it's a lot more of a somber day.
Were the first words, I read this last night when I was half asleep. It's great, by the way. Were your first words to him, am I going to die? Or were your first words to him, please, please, please hold my hand?
Pretty sure it was hold my hand. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Hold my hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
And did you think she was going to die?
No, because she was talking to me the entire time.
When you were in his presence, and I know there was a foursome, essentially, we'll talk about in a minute, Officer Shayna Catone, the cop, Shores Salter, this student who you then found, which I think is just wonderful after the fact. Other than the physical reality of helping to save your life, what did it do to your head at this incredibly unimaginable, difficult time? What was it? What did they do for you?
Really, it was, early on, it was definitely a sense of security. I knew that they had rescued me at that point, and that I felt so safe with the 4 of them, with the 3 of them around. When the 4 of us were together, it was just a calming sense to me. I feel like we have a special bond that not many people can understand unless they were there that day and they are friendly with their first responders. It's definitely something that, I don't know what it is that maybe there's so much fear that has brought you together, and knowing that you helped each other survive, whether it was that day or after, it's just something that really kind of grew us together.
How long have you been a firefighter?
9 years.
Saved anybody else's life?
Not to that scale, no.
You didn't ask any of them to marry you, did you?
No.
Okay, I just want to be clear. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what my favorite part of the book is, but I have to say it's your mother. Can I just read one piece? This Barack Obama comes to town 3 days after. We only saw the public part of it, obviously. He comes to your hospital room. Let me just read a little bit from the book. Listen, your mother says to the President of the United States, listen, she begins, reaching for a phantom cigarette. I don't think Roseanne or any of these victims should ever have to pay taxes again. The President smiled, you're right. And I want their medical bills covered 100%. None of those folks should worry about paying their bills. The President nodded again. And she wasn't done, your mother. I want them all in the field to throw out the first pitch of the Red Sox game. Finally, Obama couldn't resist. Well, I'm a White Sox fan, but I'll see what I can do. Well, your mother, I love this because it is so real and it's so much a mother kind of thing. You're lying there 3 days after. What are you thinking when your mother's doing this deal?
Thank God I was on morphine. In all honesty. It helped with the pain, and it helped with my mother, just going, because I wanted to just be like, Mom, stop, but
I'm glad she didn't.
Oh, gosh.
Well, also, did she not have an opinion about you like this, from what I understand?
From what I hear, there are rumors.
From what you hear. Well, what are the rumors that you hear, Mike? What did she think about you?
I heard she had a little bit of a crush on me, more so than other people, but...
A crush on you, meaning, and maybe you might be the right person for her kid?
Absolutely,
Was that
that's what I heard.
If you had met in other circumstances, she's already shaking her head. No, I'm not even talking to her. You had met at a bar, you met at a function,
right,
and you shake hands and say, pleasure to meet each other. Would any of this happen?
No.
So what is it? what was it the intensity?
I think I got to know her and just see who the real Roseanne is and how, what she, helps other people, how she helped other survivors, and it was very inspiring to see, and the determination that she had, the grit, you know, it was amazing.
So when I asked the question, even though I wasn't talking to you, you're shaking your head, no, forget about it. Why not?
Because in that circumstance, we wouldn't have had the time that we had to get to know each other. And so with him, you know, coming and visiting on my sister's request, he had come in, it was like Thursday or Friday, to visit at the hospital. And I don't know what you said or whatever, but it made me laugh. And my sister saw that. And she said, left him a voicemail crying, please come back again. So he did. He came back. And there were times that he might not come if he was working. And, you know, that day in Spalding, I'd be like, where, how come he's not here today? And so we didn't, but every time he was there were so many people in the room with friends and family, visitors, nurses, whatever, that after I got home, we were able to spend time together. And, you know, he had offered to help with different appointments. So
you should see the way he's looking at you while you're speaking, by the way. I get to see, you can watch it on TV. You know, before you go, I mean, let me state the obvious. The book is inspiring, it's moving, I mean, all those kinds of things. But there's also value in this for those of us who don't suffer the kind of pain that you did, who just suffer the pain of everyday living kinds of thing. What do you want people to take away from this who are just mere mortals, who don't have to go through what you had to go through?
Well, there's so many different messages, I think. Honestly, most is that good can come out of bad. And in my circumstance, it did. Is that the case for everybody that was there that day? No. I was just fortunate. And I feel as though I've been fortunate really since that point of time on. Can it be a struggle? Absolutely. Do some days suck? Yeah. And but in the end, it's a little bit of that for so much good and so much that has come out of it for all of us, that you never know when good things are going to happen, and just kind of try to look at everything in a positive light, and hopefully that will happen.
When's this happening?
I think in the fall, maybe.
Maybe? You know, you're just not telling. Roseanne, it's a pleasure to see you again. Thank you so much. Your book is terrific.
Thank
Mike,
you.
it's a pleasure to meet you. Good luck. I think you did well in this
Thank you.
transaction here. What a couple.